So someone tweeted Richardson Hitchens last night, and they said this: I think Richardson Hitchens is a better fighter than Devin Haney. And Richardson Hitchens saw this tweet and responded and said, I am the better fighter. Now, if you're not too familiar with who Richardson Hitchens is, he's one of the best up-and-coming fighters at 140 pounds. He already has some good wins on his resume. In his last fight, he beat John Bowser, who was undefeated and grew up in the same gym as Shakur Stevenson. Before that, he fought Yomar Alamo, whose only other loss was to Liam Perro, another undefeated up-and-coming 140-pounder out of Australia, and he lost to a decision. Richardson stopped him, and he also beat Malik Iceman Hawkins out of Baltimore from the Upton Gym. And Malik's only other loss was to Subriel Matias, who he just saw win the IBF championship at 140 pounds last week. So he's not just no bum either. He has some good wins on his resume as well. So Richardson Hitchens got some good wins on his resume already, and he's only 16-0. But Devin Haney saw that tweet where Richardson Hitchens said, I'm better than Devin Haney. I'm a better fighter. And he responded to him. Devin Haney said, how many belts you got? Go prove yourself and get off my... You keep mentioning me, and I'm not even in your weight class yet. You were jealous, you know what. So Devin was trying little boy him, telling him he don't got no belts. When belts come with opportunity, whichever one of the top guys decided to go over to Australia and fight for them belts would have been undisputed. Tank would have beat Kambosos, won all the belts. Lomachenko would have beat Kambosos, won all the belts. It was all about who took the opportunity, who got the opportunity to do it. Devin took that opportunity, and he came out on top with all the belts. Fair play to him. And as far as the I'm not in your weight class thing yet, that's funny to me. That's the same exact thing he said to Shakur, who Richardson is very close with, that I'm not in your weight class yet. Why you talking about me? Meanwhile, Devin Haney was calling Gervonta Davis out when he was still at 130 pounds. So that's just funny to me. But Richardson Hitchens responded, and he said, jealous of what? Anything you've done in boxing, I could have done as a prospect. Whoever you beat, I would have violated. For your information, you got brung up to me. I whoop on you any day, any weight. Big nose. Now, I got to be honest. When Richardson said, anything you've done in boxing, I could have done as a prospect, in regards to Devin Haney, I actually agree with him. Of course, Richardson is at 140 pounds, but if he was at 135, I would pick him to beat Gamboa, Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares, and Kambosos. Like I said, them belts came with the opportunity, and just off skill sets, if Richardson Hitchens had that same opportunity to go to Australia and fight Kambosos for all the belts, I believe he would have won just as easily, if not easier, than Devin Haney did. Now, I like this back and forth right here. The reason why I like this is because we could potentially get this fight very soon. The reason that is because we don't know what Devin Haney is going to do as far as weight-wise. His team keeps telling us one thing and then another. They keep saying they staying at 135, then they saying they going to 140, so we don't know. And we also don't know if they'll be re-signing with Top Rank, because it's looking like all the signs are pointing towards them leaving Top Rank and going back to the zone with Eddie Hearn. And that's who Richardson Hitchens is signed to. So that fight would be very easy to make if he did go that route. And as far as the matchup in the ring, I think that has the potential to be a very exciting fight. Something that Devin Haney hasn't been in yet, which has been horrible for his career because he's having a hard time establishing a market where he can sell some tickets because he hasn't been in any exciting fights. Y'all could say he sold 40,000 in Australia, but what happened when he went back to Australia for the rematch? Was it more people there to see him? No, it was less. The first time it was 41,000 plus. I think the second time I seen something, it was 15 to 13,000. That ain't good. That means they was cool off seeing that shit again. I think the matchup with Richardson Hitchens, the matchup with Shakur Stevenson, where it's two pure boxers doing their thing in the ring, it's easy to assume that'll be boring and that the public won't like it. But I disagree. It's boring to the public, to the casuals and the general public, where you got one elite boxer versus a guy who's not as skilled as him, and he could just sit back, jab him, not do anything spectacular. When you got two guys on the same level boxing-wise, they going to have to do more than that. They going to have to go in their bag for real, and that is going to turn into a show. So I just think this will be a good fight. They match up size-wise. They about the same size. They about the same level skill-wise. Both had good amateur backgrounds. I think it would be a great fight. As far as who I think will win, I really don't know. Because I don't know what Devin Haney's going to look like when he doesn't have a massive skill advantage over his opponent. We all know I think Shakur washes him easy. But Richardson, they more at the same level. Him and Richardson more at the same level. When I first seen them going back and forth, my first instinct was to think, okay, I think Devin would take that one. But when I started looking at Richardson's record a little more and seeing he beat some pretty good fighters, I wasn't sure. Now I'm kind of leaning towards Richardson, so I don't know. This is a good fight. But hopefully we get to see this with Devin Haney allegedly moving to 140 soon. If he's not going to fight Shakur Stevenson at 135, I would like to see him fight Richardson Hitchens at 140. We know Richardson ain't turning nothing down. He been out here chasing down Montana Love. Montana Love keep turning that fight down. Team Haney always tell us they want to make the biggest and the best fights. Let's see if they willing to take that fight. But that's what I got for y'all. I'm out.